Hello to all you, to all the Kingdom Hearts fans out there. This is episode 11 of my review, continuing the ongoing saga of Kingdom Hearts. As far as the overall gameplay review goes, we're at the last one, we're at the last world, much like how Bastion is not based on a Disney movie. So, and taking on the final boss, you're gonna feel like you're taking on at least a total of 7 bosses in this final world. And since most of the enemies and most of the heartless that you will face in this world will often pass up as mini bosses in their own right, I would suggest you take the necessary precautions and almost treat them as if they were the boss of that world. With all the pieces and players in place, it's the end of the world. Much like Hollow Bastion, the end of the world is not based on any Disney themed movie. However, with you being at the last floor, which is basically the Heartless Fortress, most of the Heartless that you will be facing in this world pass, can almost pass up as mini bosses in their own right. So you will want to take the necessary precautions when you go through the end of the world. Once you're in the end of the world and you get close to the end of it, you'll have a chance to revisit all of the other worlds that you've been to during the game and reacquire most of the items that, well, actually all of the items that you acquired when you defeated bosses and whatnot. With the exception of the 100 Acre Woods. 100 Acre Woods, you get an elixir. Or correction, a mega elixir. Now, once you dive down into the last cataclysm, basically you're gonna fall right into your first boss fight, which is Chernobog. Your boss fight with Chernobog is gonna be almost the same as when you fought Ursula for the second time in Atlantica. But the difference is that Chernobog will be in the air, meaning you'll be flying. Now don't worry about having to fall into the ground because you'll be able to float in midair. Now after your boss fight with Chernobog, you're going to go deep into the volcano and continue fighting some Heartless until you get to the center of the volcano where you fight off horde after horde of Heartless, breaking away a piece of a Heartless symbol which happens to be through a door. You're going to open this door and eventually find yourself back on Destiny Island, which is where the game started. After a few cutscenes, you're going to go right into the first part of your boss fight with Ansem himself. Now, there's not really much concern about your first boss fight with Ansem, But there is one attack you do need to watch out for, and that's when Anthem's shadow detaches itself from Anthem and controls one of your characters. It could be either Sora, Donald, or Goofy. But of course, Sora and company defeats Anthem there. Then Destiny Island splits in half. Sora, Donald, and Goofy go to deal with Anthem. However, your next two boss fights with Anthem, it will be with Sora by himself, as Donald and Goofy are excluded. The first of which, you're going to be dealing with Darkseid, and then Anthem yet again shortly after Darkseid's demise. Now, one attack you'll definitely have to, well, actually, there's several attacks you'll have to be on the lookout for. There's an attack where Anthem shoots back and forth across the zone, much like Ricky's attack style. However, if you just happen to have your arrow spell casted on yourself, then when he shoots right at you, it'll stop. Now, after you defeat Anthem for the second time, you're plunged deep into the world of darkness and after a few more cutscenes, you'll dive into your third boss fight with Anthem, which is the World of Chaos, which is divided into four parts. Of course, you're going to take on Anthem while he's attached to the World of Chaos. Shortly after Anthem's downfall, you get sucked into Room Core 1, where you take on an army of Shadow Heartless. Room Core 2 is where you will get to go in and save Goofy. Room Core 3 has Donald trapped inside, but the fight with Donald and the Airborne Invisibles make it easier since the party is back together again. Now, before you go and be able to rescue Goofy, you have to take out the artillery to open the portal. In order to get to Donald in Room Core 3, you have to destroy the World of Chaos face. Now with the whole gang back together, the main core system itself is exposed, meaning you're free to attack it. Now the room core itself is probably the only part of the boss that's less than 500 HP. But you might want to take out the artillery surrounding it first to make it easier for you. With the main core destroyed, Anthem is revived and tries to get one more attack in for redemption. Of course, Sora thwarts his attempts, and right after your boss fight with Anthem starts up the ending cutscenes of the game. That's going to do it for this walkthrough of Kingdom Hearts, or at least the main part of the game anyway. Stay tuned and I will tell you what Keyblades make an appearance in this game and how to acquire them. There are several Keyblades that you acquire, well, keychains I should actually say, that you acquire as the game goes on. Of course, when you start off in Destiny Islands, you will automatically start off with the Kingdom Key. The first Keyblade that you will acquire is the Jungle King, which you will receive from Tarzan after locking the deep jungle. You obtain the Three Wishes Keyblade after sealing Agrabah. The Crab Claw, another good keychain, you acquire after sealing Atlantica. The Spellbinder keychain you acquire in Traverse Town after returning to Merlin having all of your basic magic spells. And let me point out, the Spellbinder keychain will greatly aid you in your first boss fight with Ursula in her lair. The Pumpkinhead keychain, which should come as no surprise, you get from Jack Skellington after locking Halloween Town. The Fairy Harp Keyblade you obtain by locking Neverland. The Metal Chocobo keychain you acquire by defeating Cloud in the Hercules Cup in the Olympus Coliseum, which I stated earlier in the walkthrough. You obtain the Oathkeeper keychain, from Kairi during your fourth visit to Traverse Town after you rescue her from Anton. The Oblivion keychain you obtain from a chest in the Grand Hall at Hollow Bastion. The Wishing Star you obtain in Traverse Town from a treasure chest in Geppetto's house. The Olympia keychain you obtain from opening the chest after completing the Hercules Cup. The Lady Luck you obtain in Wonderland after activating the White Trinity. The Divine Rose you get from Hollow Bastion after speaking to Belle in the library. The Lionheart you obtain from defeating Leon and Cloud in the Hades Cup. And the Ultimate Weapon you obtain after making every other synthesis item in the synthesis shop in Traverse Town. Now, one additional Keyblade, well actually there's two additional Keyblades that were added to the mix. Both the Diamond keychain you obtain after defeating the Ice Titan in the Gold match. The One-Winged Angel keychain you obtain after defeating Sephiroth in the Platinum match. Now those two keychains I just mentioned are in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix only, unfortunately.